Have you ever met someone who bought a sailboat, sold everything, and thought they were going to sail off into the sunset? But 6 months later, that same boat is up for sale again, half refitted, with a caption that reads, "My loss is your gain." Yeah, let's not be that guy. Today we're talking about the 5 biggest mistakes sailors make when buying their first offshore boat, and more importantly, how to avoid those mistakes, because buying the wrong boat doesn't just cost you money, it can cost you your whole dream itself. And I've seen it happen too many times. Mistake number 1, buying with your heart instead of your head. We all fall in love with a pretty boat. Classic lines, that wood interior, the glossy teak decks that make you want to pour a rum and call yourself captain. But the thing about romance is, it fades when you start paying the bills. A lot of first-time buyers get hypnotized by charm and ignore practicality. Maybe it's too big to single hand. Maybe it's a racer with a 3-foot wide galley. Maybe it's a big keel when you want to explore shallow anchorages. The key is to buy the boat for the way you'll actually live, not the way you daydream that you'll live. YouTube can be a great source of information when you look at sailing channels. Look for people that are doing exactly what you want to do and which boat they're using to do it. Shut off your daydream for a sec and see what the real world is using to get the job done. You want a vessel that fits your lifestyle, your maintenance capability, and your budget, not just your Pinterest board. Likely the biggest mistake I see happen constantly, and I mean every day, is overbuying your boat. Someone will say they want a full keel 45-footer and demand that it has an encapsulated keel, a skeg rudder, keel stepped mast, low-hour diesel engine, storm sail, drogue, and basically meet ARC rally requirements. And I get really excited and I ask them, where are you going to sail this awesome boat? And they say, probably the Florida Keys, maybe someday the Bahamas. Sam Holmes did that trip on a Hobie Cat. You don't need a full encapsulated keel, skeg hung, keel stepped battleship to go to the Bahamas. In fact, I'd argue that those are the wrong boats entirely for that job. Too many compromises. They're going to be either very expensive or very old. They'll be hard to get back on board from the beautiful blue waters of the Bahamas. They'll be too heavy to point very high or go very fast. Maybe too deep, too complicated. Mistake number 2, underestimating the systems. Boats are little floating houses, but also little floating power plants and plumbing systems and mechanical nightmares. And the difference between a good deal and a bad one is usually hiding in those systems. I can't tell you how many great deals I've seen that turned out to have shot rigging or a dead autopilot or corroded fuel tanks from 40 years ago, or 20-year-old wiring done by a guy named Doug with a heat gun and a dream. Or halfway converted boats from diesel turned electric. Stay away from projects. So here's the trick. Before you buy it, inspect the systems as if you were going to go sailing offshore tomorrow, not someday when I fix it. Look at when the standing rigging was replaced, the sails. Check the rudder bearings. Check the rudder blade for water intrusion. Pull the floorboards and see if there's oil in the bilge. And here's the big one. Budget at least 20% of your purchase for immediate upgrades or repairs. If you don't use that money, great, but if you do, you'll be glad it was there. Too many people buy a boat that seems ready to go only to find out they need to do some massive overhaul on at least one system. A survey will actually go over every single system, every hose clamp on the entire boat, so get one and read it carefully. The last thing you want to do is run into a $30,000 surprise on your new boat that takes you 6 years to fix. Mistake number 3, ignoring the comfort versus performance trade-offs. Every sailor dreams of the perfect boat that's fast and comfortable and seaworthy and cheap, and then they wake up. Here's the truth. If it's fast, it's probably not super comfortable at anchor. That includes catamarans. If it's super comfortable, it probably sails like a bathtub. If it's fast and comfortable, you likely can't afford it. Offshore boats are always a compromise. The trick is knowing which way you want to lean. I've met cruisers who regret buying a big, heavy, slow boat because they missed their weather window, or they're the last ones to get to the anchorage, or they just can't go when it's time to go because they need a longer window to make that particular passage. And I've met others who bought lightweight performance boats that bounce around like a soda can in a hurricane. You don't need the fastest boat or the fanciest boat. You just need one that fits your cruising lifestyle. If you dream of island hopping and sundowners every night, go for something comfortable and stable. If you want to cross oceans and chase the horizon, focus on balance, sail handling, and sea motion. Know yourself before you know your boat. Personally, I like to go fast, so a boat that sails to its rating fairly easy is good for me. Sailing for me is all about the sport of it, so I thoroughly enjoy trimming to the second decimal place on the knot meter and running the spinnaker at every opportunity. A slow boat will make me not even want to have a boat. Mistake number 4, forgetting about the community and the support. When you buy into a sailboat, you're not just buying fiberglass, you're buying into a tribe. Some brands have a huge owners community, active forums and Facebook groups, and tons of shared knowledge. Others, it's like owning an alien spaceship. No parts, no manuals, and no help. If you're buying something rare or exotic, just know what you're signing up for. That super cool European one-off with 2 keels might look cool, but when your autopilot dies in the Bahamas, you'll wish you'd bought a Beneteau. Support matters. Availability of parts matter. And the ability to find people who know your boat inside and out, that's priceless. So do your research, look at which brands still exist, who's building them, and whether parts are available in the areas you plan to sail. A solid owner's community can save you thousands and get you back on the water faster than any mechanic will. Mistake number 5, budgeting only for the boat. Everyone gets excited about sticker price. I can buy this, it's only $80,000. Yeah, but then you got to spend another $40,000 making it safe, legal, and livable. The purchase price is just the beginning. You got to add survey costs, insurance, taxes, registration, haul out, rigging, electronics, sales, and safety gear. Oh, and thousands of small things that are going to break every month. A good rule of thumb, plan to spend 10% of your boat's value every year on maintenance, refits, and upgrades. If that sounds like a scary number, good. It means you're starting to understand that it really does cost a lot to keep a sailboat healthy. And the truth is, most people don't quit sailing because of bad weather or storms. They quit because of finances or fatigue from buying the wrong boat. The dream dies slowly under a pile of invoices or an uncomfortable bedroom. So budget smart, plan realistic, and buy the boat that you can afford to sail, not just afford to buy. If you do that, you'll actually get to the good part, sailing the thing. All right, let's wrap it up. Buying your first offshore sailboat can be one of the most exciting things or one of the most terrifying things you'll ever do. But if you keep your head on straight and avoid those 5 mistakes, you'll save yourself a ton of money, heartache, and maybe your dream. Buy with your brain, inspect your systems, and know your compromises, and pick a boat with support. And remember, the real cost isn't the purchase, it's the lifestyle. While you're here, did you see the article Doug did? It's exceptional. It's all about hybrid electric systems. We met in Annapolis and he went over the framework for this article with me. I loved it and I just got to read it and I cannot recommend it enough. It's called Quiet Power, Electric and Hybrid Propulsion at Annapolis. I'll leave a link in the description. It is excellent. If you like sailboat videos, don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. It really helps us out, but also lets YouTube know that you like stuff like this, so it'll show you more of it. And hit subscribe so we can see you again next time.